specific type of person that just really feels like in life they have just not been able to figure out how to like really tap into their power. And this is, I'll do more videos like this as time goes on, but there's some amazing things that I have unlocked for myself and released for myself now that I am headed to the next decade with the number 4. I'll just put it like that. So in my, and I actually jot down some notes, so just bear with me. I probably won't be looking at the camera that much, obviously, because I'm driving, so just, you know, bear with me on that. If you are on live with me, I will be able to check out your questions and comments when I park, and then when it uploads, but I probably won't be able to do it while I am driving, obviously. And I'm trying to play around with the angles, because I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I look back at the replays and I'm like, I love talking in the car for several reasons, but I just be playing myself on the angles. So, you know, if you are used to seeing me maybe kind of playing with the camera or trying to adjust the camera, it's just because I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm gonna, let me just start with the first one. So these are things that I wish I knew in my early 20s, my late teens. And this can go for, this is mainly for women, but of course men can definitely benefit from knowing this. Not only well, you can actually implement them, and then you can also learn more about women, okay? So it's just a win-win for everybody. So number 1, I'm at a red light, so don't worry. It says, okay, so when you are heading into the next moments of your life, I was gonna say the next year, but really the very next second, when I tell you, when you stop caring about what people think, you unlock yourself to so much. Because this is the thing, let me tell you why. Because we hear that's nothing new, right? But let me tell you why. When you constantly live your life trying to fit yourself into the construct and box of what other people think, whether it's one person, a small group, a big collective group, or society, the more you try to fit yourself, you just lose yourself in all of that. Everybody's going to continue doing what they do. Everyone's going to continue to move on with their life. And the more you're trying to fit into what you think that they think that you should be like, and you're trying to appease them, it's never going to end. Like, there's never a moment, let me say it like this, there's never a moment where you arrive where it's like, oh, okay, I finally made it. I have now fit myself into what everyone thinks. Now everybody loves me, and now I'm super on point and I don't have to worry about anything and life is amazing. No. The deeper spiral the deeper you go into the rabbit hole of caring about what people think, is the deeper and deeper you go, the further and further away you get from yourself. Because in every single scenario, in every single scenario, in every single group, in every single job environment, in every single community, club, sorority, there is a undiscussed, like, commonly set rules that everyone's just supposed to kind of abide by. But because they're like unspoken rules, you kind of don't know when you break them until you break it, and then you're looked at like this. And typically you're usually breaking them for doing something that you naturally feel called to do, whether it's you spoke up about something, whether you voiced your opinion about something, when you stood up for yourself, when you called somebody out, right? When you just lived, expressed yourself, right? So a lot of times what happens is you break a rule that you didn't know was there, and then you get reprimanded for it, and then you start to shrink. And then you're like, okay, well, I want to be liked. I want to be, considered part of the crowd, part of the group. And okay, yeah, you end up kind of doing that a little bit, but you don't feel good in your spirit, like in your system, inside your mind, inside your soul. You don't feel good. And then that's when stress comes. That's when anxiety starts to get worse and worse as you get older. that's when you start to have the depression start to come in, because you're trying to fit inside of something, and your spirit, your body, your actual being is like, no, I want to be like this. So as I've spent more years on the planet, I was the number one offender. I could be the poster child for trying to fit into boxes, because I thought that's what you're supposed to do, right? Like as you're a kid, teenager, young adult, you kind of learn you're more accepted when you kind of just like blend in, right? But as I started to mature, and I'm still going through it, right? Like we're still always evolving. Like there's going to be more and more layers as each year goes by in my life. But now that I've been an adult for a solid adult for 20 years now, the more and more I found that I was caring about what people thought, the more I started to realize that I can never actually arrive at winning. Like you're just not going to ever win. So what I started to do was unravel that, stop caring about what people think. And of course, we're all human. I don't care what anyone says. I don't think you can embody genuinely not caring what people think until you just continue to experience life. People say they don't care about what people think, and then like they're really triggered by something, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you still care. But it's okay. We all do. I don't care. You're 80. There's something that you care about. Like there's something in some category where you care about what people think. And so in some respects, some areas you kind of like do need to care what people think, like, and we'll get to, there's different levels. But in general, when you feel like you have to shrink, those are not your people. That is not your crowd. That is not the job that you should be at. That is not the career path that you should be down. Okay. So I want to unlock that for you. As I wish I could have told my younger 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old self, genuinely release what people think. Just do you. And some people are going to stay. Some people are going to go. Some people are going to be so repelled by you, and some people are going to be obsessed with you, because the closer and closer you get to your authentic self, you actually attract other people that are vibrating at that same energy, right? So let's just say, for example, you love to talk about metaphysics, but like you're in certain environments and like everyone, they think that metaphysics is a stupid topic, or like it's woo woo, or they're just not interested. They'd rather talk about the Kardashians. When you start to notice that you're shrinking and you're like, I really don't want to talk about celebrity gossip, the more you just start to go into yourself, you then start to call in, like there might be someone randomly at the grocery store, randomly at the gym, randomly at work, and then you strike up a conversation, and then there's something that they say or you say, and it triggers them to say something. You're like, wait, you're into that stuff? And it's like, oh yeah, you're into that stuff. And then you start to like really call in your people, right? Like your soul tribe or whatever you want to call it. So that's a major thing. So that's really like number one on my list of some of the mistakes that my younger self did. And it's not even really like you don't know it's really a mistake until you just kind of like go through the learning. So I'm super grateful for it now, because it made me more self-esteem. It made me truth. And once I unlocked that, there's that I unlocking in regard to that. What I want you to realize is that when you do that, there is going to be family members that fall off. There's going to be best friends, close friends. There's even some instances where I've seen other people start to really live in their truth, and they've gotten a divorce. Like it's not an easy road, but if you're going through it, or you feel like you have to kind of start to like really not care what people think, so that way you could just feel better in your spirit, just be aware that you're gonna start to layer off, and it sucks at the moment. It's gonna feel like it sucks, but you're gonna feel so much more at peace. And then you call in your real people, and then it's like, okay, now, like I thought I was losing some people that were gonna be lifelong friends, but like now I'm meeting people where I'm being myself, talking about topics that I want to talk about, being in environments that I want to be in environments in, and I feel at peace still. So like these are actually my lifelong friends, right? And then even some of those may just be there for a season. So the second one, while I'm at this red light, is having to explain yourself. Woo! This is a big one. Also, too, if you have watched this far, so if you've been watching me for a while, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to like the video. Even if you're on live with me right now, please make sure to like the video. It truly, truly, truly does help. So I appreciate it. Okay, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't. You don't. One of the gifts of spending more years on the planet is that you start to really learn what, like, you start to learn that obviously you could take care of yourself, right? Most of us, for the most part, can take care of yourself. More than likely you're paying your own bills. Of course, if you're in a partnership or marriage, I'm not referring to that. You're going to want to make sure to, have great communication with your partner, and you guys should be explaining yourselves to each other. That's not what this is about. But in general, there's time, like, have you ever found yourself feeling like you had to explain yourself, and then you're like, wait a minute, you're not my mom, like, you're not my dad, and even my mom and dad don't even require me to like answer to them like that anymore because I'm an adult. So anytime like there's a moment where you felt like you had to like prove yourself or convince someone of something, or someone says this is a general example, but like say someone calls you on the phone and they're like, oh, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm just working right now, what's up? And then they're like, well, what are you doing though? And it's like, are you paying my bills? Are you, and of course, there's different layers, different scenarios where you're going to be happily explaining yourself. The times where you feel expansive and you're happy to explain yourself, that's also what I'm talking about. It's those moments where it's like the probing starts from someone and they're kind of trying to size you up. They're trying to calculate your time for you. Okay? And some of you guys might have to like rewind this and watch this again, because or just kind of like take it in, and then now you'll maybe start to notice it. I'm trying to think of another moment where like let's say for example I'm going to this event and right now, and then someone's like, okay, well, like, what's the event? And then it's like, oh, well, it's X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, why are you going? Okay, well, X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, who's all gonna, like, what's the point? Like, who's all gonna be there? Like, what made you want to go? And then it's coming from a place of like, they're sizing you up, like they're digging into your business, like they're being nosy, right? Another thing is like in the workplace. Oh, okay, let me give you, okay, here we go. This is a really good example. So, and also to make sure to comment, or if you have any other questions, as soon as I park, I'll be able to definitely read them. And if I don't get to them on this live, I'll read the questions and then I can do a whole nother live diving into your questions. So you're gonna want to make sure to subscribe to tap in with me, because I'm this year 2024, I'm just dropping all the gems. I'm dropping all the juice. I'm really known for being very blunt, which is interesting. In person, I'm known for being blunt, but I'm actually trying to do a better job of being more blunt on YouTube. I feel like I've been too fluffy and fairy. So that's like another thing. I want to be more of like how I really am with people that are very close to me in my life. I'm very blunt. I'm very straightforward, because I actually want them to grow, and I actually want them to expand, and I actually want them to heal or take back their power or stick up for themselves. You know what I mean? So you're going to want to make sure to tap in with me. So one of the things that I do is obviously content creation, and I get a lot of, brands will reach out to me and want to send me their stuff to either, review, try out. And, there's a particular month where I was just getting a lot of brands like sending me stuff. And I have like a PO box, like it's not a PO box, but it's similar to a PO box. It's not like my personal home address. And one of the people that work at this mail place was like, well, why are you getting all these packages? And it's like, it's none of your effing business. Now, the younger me would have felt like I had to really overly explain. I was like, oh, I do content creation. This is my business. Right? Instead of being like, oh, well, this brand hit me up and then they wanted to send it to me, and then this brand hit me up and, I'm so sorry. Like, that's actually number 5, by the way. So I might actually do that as number 3. The sorry, is there, because there was like a time where it was like 30 packages came in, right? And so they're like, well, what do you, like, with the attitude, like, well, what do you do? And you never really know where people are coming from. Like, it could be jealousy. It could be because they wish they were doing what you're doing, and they don't like their position that they're, you don't know, right? And so, but just the energy, it wasn't really like a expansive, like excited, like, oh, I genuinely want to, like, oh, this is so exciting. Like, you have all these packages coming in. Like, I'm just really curious, like, what industry are you in? Like, there's a different way that people ask when it's really to, like, genuinely either pour into you positivity or, like, it's an expansive moment. But this was a very negative moment. And the younger me would have been like, I'm so sorry. Like, is it too many packages? Like, I'm going to cut back. No, I'm not shrinking myself, because I've worked up to where I'm at, to where brands they trust me with being able to discuss their products. Like, that's something I've earned. That's something I'm excited about. It's something I love and enjoy. And I love talking about products that I use every day that really have transformed me in some way, and will also transform somebody else. So when I was younger, I would have shrunk. Like, I would have went, like, retreated and been like, reached out to brands and said, hey, so sorry, I can only have 5 a month. That's not a stipulation. I would have put that cap on myself, because I would have felt like I had to shrink, right? And overly explain myself and say sorry and all that. So let me think of another example. I mean, I have so many, but that's like one that recently happened. I was like, you know what? Wow. I just was like blunt and was like, it's part of my business. I do content creation. And they're like, okay, like wanting me to say more. And I was like, and then they kind of just knew with my eyeballs that it was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to probe any further. Yeah, like there's been some doozies, but I'm not going to say there's one that happened recently, but yeah. They might be watching, and I still need to talk to this person about something that happened, where basically bottom line is, when I was in my early 20s, if I was questioned, I felt like I had to actually, like, come up with an answer, like as if I was going to get in trouble, right? As if I was, like, beholden to them, like as if they had a right to know that piece of my life. Like, you're not my husband, hopefully one day I'll be married. That's definitely something I'm manifesting. But my husband, that's a different story. My mom or dad, that's a different story. But, like, any human being outside of that, like, why are you questioning me? So I definitely allowed myself to get questioned, probed, sucked on my energy. And I would just feel really depleted. And then, okay, this is another thing. This is why this is so important. So when you do that, you actually give people, like, the opportunity to size you up, and then they start calculating you. So say, for example, if you're like, oh, well, I do X, Y, and Z, and it's like, oh, that's why you're busy? Okay, well, tell me more about that. And you're like, okay, I really don't want to, but okay, I'm going to tell you more about it. And it's like, oh, well, can you give me the contact for that? Or, like, I want to do that too. And it's like, then you all of a sudden just end up giving away maybe something 2 years that you worked to get. And then now you got kind of coerced into giving it away, all that value and, like, hard work or maybe, relationships that you built. And then now you found yourself giving away contacts or giving away information or giving away resources that person didn't do anything to earn, and they just sucked on you. And guess what? They will not be doing that, reciprocating. I learned that the hard way. Okay? I learned that the hard way. Like, I'm thinking, like, oh, well, treat people how you want to be treated, right? Not in this department. Now, you can be kind. Being kind and being poised and controlled when you're kind of, like, putting up that boundary. Absolutely. You want to treat people, like, and have integrity with how you treat people. But once you start giving up too much information or feeling like you're beholden to having to say, and it's like, no. And if they have an attitude about it, it's a red flag. Why do you want to know so much? Like, what is this? Like, are you trying to get something from me? Like, what's going on? So I just want to unlock that for you and give you permission. You do not have to overly explain yourself to any human being other than, that tight core that I just talked about, in my opinion, based on my experience. And when I've done it, the reason why I think this is such a big one is because it doesn't benefit you. It's not mutually beneficial. Now, you know the right people to do that to. So say, like, if someone's like, oh, well, they may be asking you because they may be able to give you a bigger opportunity, because they're like, oh, wow, you're involved in this. Well, okay, that's so good for me to know, because I actually think that this would be great for you too. You can kind of tell when it's that kind of energy. But you can also tell, you got to really tap into your intuition, that sixth sense. Like, okay, is this like a mutual thing? Is this going to benefit only them? Are they, trying to get something from me? Is this going to be a co-creation of some kind? So that's a really big one. Number 3 mistake, I already alluded to it, overly apologizing for no reason. Overly apologizing for no reason. So sorry, can I grab that? Can I go around you and grab that? I'm so sorry. I just want to pop in for a second and see if I can ask a question. Get on the phone with customer service. Hi, I'm so sorry. I have this issue. Like this, like really timid, like shrinking yourself to like be like, master, like, hi. No. The only thing you should be saying, apologizing for, saying sorry for, is something that you actually need to be saying sorry for. If you're asking for a pen, hey, I'm so sorry. Can I grab that pen? Oh, so sorry. I was actually like standing here in line. That's actually my spot. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was like, when I think of my 18, 19, 20-year-old self, that I was like that. Like I would be like, shrink, shrink, shrink. So that way I don't like ruffle any feathers. And then they would still have an attitude. Like, so you shrink, you say sorry, and then they still have an attitude with you. And then you're like shrinking even more. So I also think that like if you're doing that, I think that comes from something deeper, and you need to do like some inner work, some shadow work, some journaling, some praying, some meditating on like, well, why do I feel like I have to apologize? We all have different reasons for it. I know what my reasons are now. I know why I was so comfortable shrinking, because of some things that happened in my childhood, right? That's what it all comes down to. We're all learning. A lot of the stuff that we're dealing with and playing out in our life now is because of traumas and weirds. Just not even like these humongous traumas, just like moments where like it maybe affected us on a deep level, and then it stuck with us in our nervous system, and then it just plays itself out in different scenarios in our adulthood. And then you have to kind of discover, okay, is this really serving me apologizing over and over to everybody? I'm so sorry, I just have a quick question, like, can I just have a moment of your time? And then they're looking at you like, as opposed to, hi, I have a question about this. Can I have a moment of your time? I would love to pick your brain about something. Can you hand me that pen? Right? So just, it doesn't have to be like this big grandiose moment. Just say what it is and like keep it at the level that it's at. You don't have to shrink down to then allow, like, for you to then think that someone is then like, you're like worthy enough when you shrink down to like fit into their box to like have them help you with something. Or even like, let's just say, this is another one. When you're at a restaurant, the waitress doesn't bring something. Hey, I'm so sorry. Can I have a fork? No, that's a part of her. I used to be a waitress for many years. No, that was a part of her job. She messed up. Hi, can I have a fork? When you have that energy, it's like, ooh, that was my, the waitress is thinking, oh, that was my bad. I should have brought him a fork. You know what I mean? But you actually like do other people a disservice when you are saying sorry all the time. Another one might be when someone offends you. Like, you're apologizing to them for them offending you. Like, I'm so sorry, but like, can you just like not say that again? Like, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I just, that just like didn't make me feel like good. But I'm so sorry. I don't want to cause any drama. No. I don't appreciate that. I didn't appreciate when you said that. I don't appreciate your tone. I hear what you're saying, but I would appreciate it next time if you say it like this, if you do it like this. Like, I can give you a million, you know, topics like that, but you don't need to apologize when someone's offended you. So I can go on and on and on, but I might do a whole video just on why people say sorry so much. And I'm unlocking that for you right now. Like, you do not, and I even catch myself, like, once in a blue moon, like, I'm trying to think of what the scenario was, because I just did this last week, and I was like, it stuck out to me so much because I never say it anymore. I think it was like something tiny. Like, me and this older woman were like going into a door at the same time, and it was kind of like, sometimes like if the flow ain't right, like sometimes like two people at once try to grab for the door, and it's just like weird. But I think it was kind of like she felt entitled, even though I technically had like been a couple steps ahead of her. It was like a weird moment, and I just was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, what the hell? Like, in my head I was like, Ciana, nope. Like, why are you saying sorry to that woman? She actually kind of like cut you off. So you need to like stand in your power, like stand up for yourself. Ground yourself in your energy, like ground yourself in taking up space. Like, you do not have to apologize for normal moments, normal things. Okay, I hope my tongue is not green because I'm drinking this green juice, and I have a green dress on, and I have green eyeshadow. I never do that, you guys. I don't know, I kind of just want to do something different. I always do like a mahogany or a brown, and I just call it a day. But I was like, I have all this, you know, when you get the palettes. Anyways, okay, let me go to my next one. So I could have said, sorry guys, sorry, didn't mean to go off topic. All right, no, it's my channel. If I want to kind of go out on a tangent, I can do that because it's my channel. That's it. Stand in your power. Okay, so next one is, and I'm like in less than like crazy LA traffic where like you're just barely even moving. So I wish I kind of had these like memorized. Why is it not expanding? So hold on real quick, guys. Okay. On your way doing something, or okay, this is a big one. So if you have a certain belief about something, this is going to be deep, so you're going to want to like hang with me on this one, because I'm going to have probably like maybe one or two baby stories about this. You have a belief, whether it's about spirituality, the economy, politics, whatever, and you're pretty solid on your beliefs, right? Like, you feel a certain way, you feel good about it when you're at, you know, by yourself at night, about to go to sleep, you feel good with your beliefs. And then you get in environments where there's different beliefs, right? What I've found is that it does not serve me at all to convince someone about my beliefs. Let me explain further. Depending on the background of someone, depending on someone's generational religious upbringing, political upbringing, those conversations 90% of the time don't go anywhere positive. And I have come to realize that I have such a unique upbringing from 99% of people that I met in my life. I'm not even kidding. I've never met another Black and Punjabi woman in my entire life. In my entire life, I have never met another human being. I know they exist, because I think I said this on another live, and they're like, oh, there's a bunch of them in London. In California, in the United States, I've come across a ton of Black women and a ton of, you know, Punjabi women, but a half Black, half Punjabi human being or woman, I have not met. I've met one man in my entire life. One man. There's a bunch of Black and Mexicans. There's millions of Black and white people, Black and Chinese, but so that's just a whole nother video. So over the years, as I've, you know, lived out my younger adult, you know, beginning adult stages, when I started to kind of talk about my beliefs or my viewpoints, it would like ruffle feathers, and it would like confuse people, or it would make me sound a certain, like the way they would take it was not the way that I was wanting it to hit. And I had to just come to terms with, why should I overly explain? Like, my beliefs are for me. My spirituality is for me. My take on God is for me. My take on politics is for me. There's a really good way that you can wiggle out of these moments, and it makes the moment kind of uncomfortable, but it almost is kind of like you stand in your power. This is one of the tricks. You're in an environment, you're in a group setting, you're at a dinner, whatever. Oh, so what do you think about the president, this year being an election year? I don't have an opinion on it. What do you mean you don't have an opinion? I don't have an opinion about it. Now, some people will get it. Some people will be repelled, and those are not your people. Okay? And that's really like where sometimes the boundaries are not fun boundaries to set. But if there's a topic, and again, if you do want to talk about politics, perfect, talk about it. But I'm just using that as an example. Or you could say, that's not really a topic I discuss in these settings. Like, just take your power back in that moment. Or if they're popping off about their belief system, and it's one that is completely opposite from yours, it's okay to say, that's a very interesting perspective. Wow. As long as it served you, I love it. I love that for you. Conversation done. Next topic. You can get into these like really weird arguments and like fights and like just like emotions being stirred up for the silliest thing, because at the end of the day, when it comes to your spirituality, finances, politics, and other topics that are, serious topics, when you discuss them back and forth, if the conversation, okay, this is how I've rationalized it for me, and it's brought me so much more peace. If I don't walk away from the conversation being able to actually implement a solution to that very topic, that's it. So for example, if we're talking about something in the community and it's something that's going to directly affect like my nieces and nephews, and then I'm like, you know what, let's actually expand on this so that way I can learn, tap into resources, and then immediately go to like my brother and then say, hey, this is going to affect the babies, I just heard about this. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, if it's not something that I can immediately fix right now, like if you want to talk about things that are internationally happening, because that's what we live in now. We live in the world where there is so many different topics that we're exposed to that we were not exposed to 10, 15, 20 years ago, because the newspaper was just about your specific community or your state maybe that you're living in. Or maybe like national news, like a couple big points about national news. Now we get live streaming from every country on the planet. Live streaming. Like I can tap into Nigeria right now and know what's going on. I'm sure it's nighttime there. But you know what I'm saying? Is me knowing about drama going on in Nigeria going to, what can CianaSingh do about it right now in Los Angeles, California, while she's on the freeway? Why am I going to rile myself up, get into a debate, get into all these hot emotions, and then that's 2 hours of my life? I still can't help the people in Nigeria for whatever. I don't know what's going on in Nigeria. I'm just using that as an example. But like, I'm not flying to Nigeria to actually help the people. So I hope that makes sense. Like, there's sometimes that you could end up wrapping yourself up into a dialogue about a topic that has nothing to do with your direct life, that you can immediately, oh, I don't actually have to have a 2-hour conversation about this. Once that topic comes up, I can just sit and pleasantly listen and just like listen from more of an observation standpoint of like just observing, seeing how people talk, seeing people's opinions. And then when it gets to my turn to, and if people think that you're just not educated or you're dumb or whatever, then those are not your people. Okay. So I really hope that that makes sense. And I hope that you really take that with you and you will save yourself. Because when I was younger, oh my gosh, when I was in my early 20s, as soon as there was a topic where like someone didn't agree with me, or like say, or I would not if they didn't agree with me, but like say if I said my point and they're like trying to unprove my belief system, I would really feel like I had to like keep hammering the point home. Like, no, they need to understand what I'm saying. They need to understand what I'm saying. They need to understand what I'm saying. They need to. And I just, now I'm like, why the hell was I that was a waste of my time, because they still don't believe they still don't see where I'm coming from. They can only, now they're hitting me up about stuff. They're like, didn't you used to talk about that, Ciana, and now that's happening now? Or didn't you say that you want to do that, Ciana, and now you're doing it? Like, can you tell me, like, so really it's more so like the actions. Like, let people come to you when it's like about your, X, Y, and Z topic, right? Don't, just going to suck on your energy, and you just end up defeated and depleted by the end of the day. And that could have been time and energy toward other amazing things, whether it's reading a book, exercising, spending time with a loved one, over laughs and good food. Do you see what I'm saying? So I hope that makes sense. And the very last one, okay, the very, very last one, all right? So this is something that these notes, I have so many more. I'm going to do more videos like this where it's kind of like I wish I knew this in my 20s kind of videos. So the next one is, let's see. I think it was actually 4. Okay, that was it. It was the power 4. It was the power 4. I have more, but it was the power 4. So definitely make sure to, if someone is watching this and cares to even like list this out, the power 4 that I talked about, definitely type in. Let me see if I can remember without like looking. This is out of order. But okay, so not caring about what people think. Okay, not caring about what people think. Having to over-explain yourself, that's number 2. Do not over-explain yourself when you do not feel like the person has no jurisdiction over your life. They have no authority over your life. They don't pay your bills. Like, you do not have to explain yourself to any human being. A customer service person randomly digging in, being nosy, a random associate or a person you bump into at the grocery store. Do not over-explain yourself. Okay? Number 3, saying sorry uncontrollably for no reason. Sorry, can I get the pen? Sorry, can I just want to squeeze in, you actually cut me, I'm sorry. And then number 4 was, stop trying to convince other people of your belief systems. And then don't allow, and it goes the opposite way too, don't allow other people to impose their belief system on you to where you're all of a sudden judging yourself. Now, just another quick little side note on that one. If you are, and also make sure to like the video if you're just hopping on my live, make sure to like the video. And make sure to subscribe. If you are genuinely interested, like where it's like, I've never heard of that before, or wait, can you tell me about that way of thinking, or can you tell me about that method, or can you tell me about that strategy, or like if it's something that genuinely, is kind of like helping, it's making you second guess your belief system, and you're really genuinely interested, like, you know what, I'm actually open to learning more about this, like this could actually benefit me to maybe shift my mindset on X, Y, and Z. That's different, right? That's different. That's a benefit to you. But if the conversation is not going to be a benefit, if the moment's not going to be a benefit, that's where you just draw the line. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you explaining this to me. This is a very interesting topic. Thank you. Leave it at that. Okay? So definitely also too, if you're watching this on the replay, watching this right now, you gotta sign up with my newsletter. I'm giving away this dope ass travel bag. I gave away some headsets. I'm going to be announcing the winner April 16th. So definitely tap in. Make sure to sign up. Or go to my community tab or click down in the description. If you're watching this on the replay or if you're watching this in the future, I'm always going to have a link down below to sign up with my email list. You'll have direct access to me if you have a personal question or something that you want me to do a video on. I'm happy to get your opinions, or there might be a comment where you're like, I don't really want everyone else to see it, but you want me to see it. I'll be sending out newsletters and you'll be able to respond back to me. Okay. So, and I also do have my email just listed down in the description as well. So it's embodypursuit at gmail.com. I'm eventually going to get a different email, but that's the one that I have for now, embodypursuit at gmail.com. So tap in with me there. And I do have my How to Lose Belly Fat ebook guide, everything that I do, all my tips, tricks, everything that I've done for years to stay fit and healthy and have my wellness on point. And that's pretty much it. So definitely make sure to send this to anyone that can help. I really, really love helping people and with these topics about life and things, personal stories of mine, personal testimonies of mine, where when I tell my stories or I give my advice, and when people come back to me, they're like, that actually really helped me. That fuels me so much. So I need to hear that. Like, if it really did help you, I'm asking you to help me, like, with that. That helps me. So take the time to really let me know if it did help. And it just gives me power and fuel to keep going and keep showing up. As you can see, I'm growing my channel, so it's not like I'm getting paid from AdSense or nothing like that. I have a very, very small channel. So those comments really, 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 like, that to me is like my monetary payment, is when you're like, hey, that really helped, or hey, can you do another topic about this because you helped me last time in my life about this. Like, it really, it fuels me. So I am on my way to this event, really dope event. I'm going to be doing a mini vlog. I'll be posting it at the end of the week. It's an event in the LA Live area right where the Lakers play. So super dope. I'll be talking to you guys more about what I've learned at this event. And this is a gem. This is a gem. You're going to want to go to my community tab. I'm going to post it again, but I just posted the lineup that's going to be at this event. And even though you're not there, even though you're not going to this event, if you look up all the people on the lineup and you just binge watch their stuff for 30 days, I think it's like 10 to 12 different speakers. If you listen to all those speakers, it's as if you got a master class, master course. I'm not even kidding. So the lineup, the program of this is gold in itself. And you just go to all their YouTubes, all their social media, tap in with their what services that they have, and you will expand. I'm not even kidding. I was like, whoa, this in itself is people should charge to get the screenshot that I put on the community tab. All right. So tap in, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.